Hello and welcome back. Let's learn how to solve this problem. We are given, is the product of a rational number and an irrational number rational or irrational? Recall that a rational number is a number that can be written as a fraction, where both the numerator and denominator are integers, and of course the denominator is not equal to 0. And an irrational number cannot be written this way. So what would happen if we multiplied some rational number times some irrational number? What would we get? Well, let's consider two cases. Let's say the first case, our rational number, a over m, is equal to 0. So a and m are both integers. M is not equal to 0. But if the rational number is equal to 0, then it must be a is equal to 0 and m is any non-zero number. What would happen if we multiplied that rational number times some irrational number? Let's say we did this. What would we get? Well, that's the same thing as 0 times c, and 0 times anything is 0. Is 0 a rational number or irrational number? Can we write it as a fraction where both the numerator and denominator are integers and the denominator is not equal to 0? Sure. We could do this. So 0 is a rational number. So in this case, in case number 1, when our rational number is 0 and we multiply it by any irrational number, our answer will be rational. What if, though, we have a case where the rational number is not 0? It's not 0. So we have a and m are both integers, where m is not equal to 0. And a also not equal to 0. Okay, so we have some non-zero rational number. What would happen if we multiplied it by some irrational number c? What would we get? Well, let's do a proof by contradiction. I want to prove that the product is irrational. I want to say it's irrational in this case. Proof by contradiction. Well, let's say it were rational. So I can write the product in like this. P over Q, where P and Q are both integers, and Q is not equal to 0. What about if I wanted to isolate C? That would mean I need to do the inverse operation of multiplication. So I would need to do division, but it's the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. And I need to do that on both sides. So that would mean C is equal to PM times QA. Well, P and M are both integers, so the product is an integer. Same thing for Q and A. Q and A are both integers. Integer times integer is another integer, and so I have an integer divided by an integer. I have a rational number, so this is a rational number. But wait a minute, this is an irrational number, remember? How can a number be both rational and irrational? It can't. It's not possible. It's impossible. So that's a contradiction. So therefore, the original assumption that the product is a rational number is wrong. It can't be that. So it must be the case that the product here of a non-zero rational number times any irrational number is irrational. And we're done.